So what was your first reaction when you saw Kailash and Mansarovar, both Devi and Shiva?
When we reached Mansarovar, the lake, we could see Kailash in the distance, but it was actually covered with clouds, so really couldn't see it. And then Swamiji basically could see something, and he said, "You know what? All this, don't wait, just wait for half an hour, and we'll clear up all the clouds." And half an hour later, that's what happened. Within half an hour, everything had cleared out, and we could see Kailash. For me, what was actually more impressive than seeing Kailash in Mansarovar was to see Swamiji react when he saw that. It was basically, he was just overwhelmed, and we could all, that sense was so, the feeling was so strong, it impacted all of us in just various different ways. And he knelt down, and for us, that sign of seeing him lying prostrate on the ground in front of Kailash said a lot more than anything I could have imagined about the place or even what I felt about the place. So for me, that was just very, very powerful. And then we all, lay down as well and knelt down, and from then it was just a completely different zone. Swamiji himself was, had tears coming down his eyes, which I had never seen, and that immensity was something which I'd treasure for the rest of my life, for sure.
Yeah, it was just spectacular. I mean, I don't even know how to describe it. In fact, just all the descriptions feel very pale in my mind right now, because it was just so larger than life and in full color then. It was just a wonderful experience to be there with Swamiji, to see the clouds moving out, and we're like, "Where's Kailash?" And it's like, "Oh look, that's what it is."
We saw in the video that he just said it'll move in 5 minutes, and then it just moved.
That's exactly what happened, and it stayed clear the 4 days we were there, and the weather had been pretty bad for a month before that. And even the guides who were there with us were saying this is quite incredible, extraordinary.
I know, they were saying, "Your lama, good lama, your lama, you make weather good." So it was very nice.
I think this has happened before. I just want to share one incident. I think you were there for the Himalayas trip, and when we were going to Delhi, people in the train asked us, "So where are you going?" And we said, "Char Dham." Said, "Are you mad?" They really told us in Hindi, "Pagal ho gaye ho kya?" And said, "What happened?" And then they said that the river Ganges is in full flow and people are not been able to go there. It was raining, if you remember, right? It was raining completely in Delhi when we went. It was raining, and Ganga had submerged half of whatever Rishikesh was. Half the banks were flooded, and he was telling it's impossible. You can't even go there. Then I remember Swami said for the next 15 days nothing will happen. We'll just go. And believe it or not, it was not a thing. We didn't even have to open our umbrellas or whatever raincoats, whatever we had taken during the next 15 days, right? And I remember the day before, next day morning, we were supposed to leave for Himalayas Yatra. And the day before, we were shopping for this raincoats and everything in whatever that bazaar, Connaught Place and everything. And it was raining heavily. We went for dinner. I know that we were drenched in rain. And we were thinking, how is it going to happen? And then next day we see it was clear. Next 15 days, not even once did I open my raincoat out and actually put it on. Or it's, I think, something beautiful. Great. So, one last thing. Anything that you want to tell our viewers regarding Kailash Yatra?
For me, the big part of Kailash and being on this entire yatra was really the time spent with Swamiji, because this is a zone or an environment which, while it's amazing, it's by itself, it's a great journey, but doing it with Swamiji was just the experience of my life, right? We had done IA, we were talking about just before that in December 2010, and that was a start of, I think, an amazing journey with Swamiji, and this was very much a mystical side of the whole experience with him, right? And we get to see him in a very different dimension, and in a very, very intimate context, of spending a lot of time, very close proximity with him. And it's not about the learning aspect. There isn't anything of those kind of discourses going on, but just sharing and being in that zone was, I don't know, it's just, I would say anyone who has any sort of connection to him and to wanting to, a desire to go, this experience is going to be the experience of your life. So for me that was, I could talk about it for a long, long time. Just all the different mystical things that happened and what we saw, but it's really worth experiencing, and I would encourage all of us to go and try and do that.
Well, for me, one, it was beautiful again to be there with him, because we saw all the other tourists come and they would be there for maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes and look at it, and then they'd go away half an hour, 45 minutes. How long can you really spend there? But we were there 8 hours solid, sitting on like that rocky terrain, meditating. He's making us levitate, we're landing on the shrub. But it was so ecstatic, it was so beautiful, to just have him sit with Kailash at his back and for him to say Om Namah Shivaya, and it all just, erupt. So that was a very beautiful experience. And the one that I really liked is also in Mansarovar, freezing cold water, and we all took a dunk. We actually took a dip in that cold water, and it was really, really nice, because once you kind of overcame your mental block and you said, no, I am going to do it, let me go in, and then you came back out. You couldn't stay there for very long, of course. You could feel every cell in your body pulsate with that energy. It was just, it was really, that's probably when you feel so alive, every part of you feels alive and just gushing. So that was a beautiful experience. And what was really amazing also is after I came back, my parents and his parents and lots of folks who may not have approved of us spending 3 weeks away from our children and going there, suddenly they said, oh, we have to do Pada Puja to you because it's the Indian ritual that people that come back from Kailash, we need to. So there was like almost like a new respect in people's eyes suddenly for us having come back. But it was just him. I mean, we could go to any part of the world and he would just, make it 1,000-fold better. Just being with him is just amazing.
And one small thing, right? We had photos with him almost every day, and he had said, all of you keep wanting to take photos with me, and you just, by the end of it, we not exhausted, but I could have gone on for much longer. But it was just amazing. We got to, that intimacy. The example was we would get photos, individual photos with him every day, maybe twice or thrice sometimes in a day. And that was just, just amazing. And we instead of taking photos of all the scenery around, which is very beautiful, we really cared about was that, and that personal sort of having photos with him, and just a small thing of another way of, he made it so much more of an experience for us.
I remember this one incident where we took a photo with him, and this was at that small airport when we were waiting to fly to this place. Anyway, he held Dinesh's, Kailash Nair's hands there, and then my hands on the other hand, and he was holding us this way. And we had the photograph, and we left and it was turned for the next person. And suddenly I felt so much love and compassion, and so much love and tenderness towards him. So, it's like he's always integrating us, he's just holding our hands and he's strengthening the love we have for each other. So it was just so lovely just to be part of such experiences.
Great. So I think those of you who are watching this video, based on whatever experiences that they have gone through during the first Kailash Yatra, there's one more Kailash Yatra coming up and many more hopefully with Swamiji. So we invite each one of you who can make it for Kailash Yatra. Of course, there is, I don't think anybody has to think twice about being with him at Mount Kailash and Mansarovar with Devi and Shiva. So we welcome each one of you to be a part of this wonderful, beautiful Yatra with Shiva himself, Nityananda.